Hi, I'm Gary Jackson. One of my first dog training teachers, Mr. Wayne Davis from West Virginia K9 Collage, spent years researching a genetic aggression condition in dogs he referred to as over-aggressive. In 1990, he explained to me that perfectly happy and normal family dogs will snap and chew up the owner in a frenzied aggressive attack, then return back to normal. In the 70s and 80s, it was a common trait in Cocker and Springer Spaniel males that were usually black in colour. This was referred to as Cocker rage syndrome around the world. This condition is also referred to as idiopathic rage or rage syndrome. In the past 24 years, I have witnessed only 4 dogs with this condition, and 2 of them I have on video to show you. But firstly, what is rage syndrome? What are the triggers and what causes it? Well, rage syndrome is genetic in origin and is inheritable, reported in breeds including Cocker and Springer Spaniels, Bernese Mountain Dogs, Rottweilers, English Bull Terriers, Golden Retrievers, Papillons, Border Collies, Chow Chows and other breeds. The dog can be relaxed and all of a sudden lash out with high aggression on its owner, then quickly return to normal. This genetic condition is triggered by environmental factors, including pain such as stepping on the dog's foot or the dog being placed in a stressful situation or resource guarding of a toy or food. Some of the common signs a dog exhibits when going into rage syndrome is becoming stiff and rigid with the ears pinned back, standing sideways or turning the head sideways to the threat before snapping, expanded and dilated pupils that look glazed or green, and a trance-like look on the dog's face, deep guttural growling and gasping for breath, then the frenzied and hectic aggression and multiple bites. And finally, after the episode, the dog either looks exhausted with heavy breathing and pacing or looks like nothing's ever happened. There are many theories of the cause of rage syndrome, including a form of epileptic seizure, thyroid problems, neurological disorder, or even a reduced serotonin level. I would like to add a theory to this list based on my studies on rage syndrome that I will share with you after the dog footage. The first dog I witnessed with rage syndrome, I was able to study for 2 years when he finally dropped dead during a thunderstorm. The Doberman male called Amos was from an import that chewed up several people in Europe, Australia and Asia. At the age of 7 months, the lady owner stepped on Amos's foot and then she was attacked, requiring multiple stitches. Amos went to a dog trainer as an industrial yard dog. He also chewed up the handler. Then he came to me. I was told the full story, but I didn't believe it, as this Doberman was happy, goofy and friendly dog that you'd happily place in a family home. I was so wrong. The handler and I sat down with Amos for 15 minutes discussing what we were told. Amos was happy with the attention, then he became rigid and froze. His eyes glazed over, then he launched at the handler with a full mouth bite to his lower arm, shaking him violently. Now let's check out the rage syndrome. The footage, dog number 1 is a 2-year-old Shar-Pei male and dog number 2 is a 12-month-old solid black Cocker cross Springer Spaniel male. Here is the first dog, the Shar-Pei, and he came into the kennels for boarding. Now the history on this dog is that the owner's had him for 3 years. He's exhibited no aggression towards anyone, and when he was taken by one of the staff members into the kennel, he got halfway down to his kennel. The dog froze up and became very rigid. His eyes glazed over, and then he launched at the staff member, going for a face bite. So it was quite scary for him. He ended up swinging the dog around. The dog launched at him several more times, trying to go for his legs, his arm, anything he can get. He finally managed to get the dog into a kennel without being bit. When he came back up to tell the owner what had just happened, he couldn't believe him for saying that the dog's friendly, has never aggressed anyone in his life. So about a week and a half later, his friend came to pick the dog up. We told him about it. He also didn't believe us. So we took him down the kennel to get his dog out. When the dog saw the owner's friend, he was happy, his tail was wagging, he was jumping up at the gate, really, really friendly. And as soon as the owner opened the gate to put the lead on him, the dog nearly took his arm off. He then went back and told the owner, and then a few days later, the owner gets back off holidays, comes down. He was still struggling to believe this, and then he went to the kennel, and the dog did the same to him. He couldn't get the dog out. He then instructed us to put the dog down, so what we did was that because we didn't have a catch-in pole at the time, the vet told us to drug him out with ACP tablets, so then we can have him euthanized in a few hours' time. And normally when you drug out a dog, you're looking at about say 2 to 3 ACP tablets for a large dog like a shepherd or a Doberman or something when you're drugging them. This will calm them down and get them relaxed. Because this one's going to be euthanized, we gave him a large dose of ACP tablets so he wouldn't be any trouble when we try to put him down. We gave him a total of 19 ACP tablets to drug him out, and the footage that you're watching right now is the dog 2 hours after having these ACP tablets. So you can really see that the stress and the adrenaline is really, really overtaking the tranquilizers. It was quite an interesting dog, this one here, but one of the interesting things about him is that the moment he sees you, his eyes just dilate, he'll flip out, launch at the gate, but then if you had food there, he's just like a big, playful, goofy, happy, friendly dog, really happy, and you can do anything with him, and then you put the food down, and you say, "Hey fella, how you going?" and then he will launch at you. I have evaluated so many black cocker spaniels to try to find one with the over-aggression trait, and I haven't found one as yet until now. This one here, during the evaluation, I've actually got a stick and a rag, and I'm stalking the dog from a distance, and this is to get a non-threat, threat and dominating zone. And you can see with his behaviour, he's playful, submissive, his tail's wagging, he wants to be my friend, and there's no aggression there at all. And I'll be quite happy to place this dog into a loving family home based on his behaviour just here. He seems to be so friendly towards everything. However, this dog has bitten everybody in the family, and the aggression that he exhibits today, the owner advises me, is only 50% of what he's normally like at home. As I approach the dog with the stick and the rag, you can see he's hiding, being submissive, trying to show avoidance, but still in a play submissive behaviour. Now he's looking for reassurance from the owner. I swing the stick, he cowers down a little bit to put a little bit more pressure on him, and now I'm just going to test recovery time to see how long it takes him to recover. Now at this stage here, he's still in a playful mode. So basically, from what I've seen so far in the evaluation, this is a generally happy, goofy, friendly type dog, and you'll be so happy to put this into a family home. He just seems like a loving dog. He's a Springer Spaniel crossed Cocker Spaniel male, which is about 12 months of age. But we also know the triggers on over-aggression can be several things, including food possession. So we use the food possession to test this next level out. Here we throw the bag down, and I walk away. Now watch what happens here. Quite a different dog from what's happened here, but we had to search for the trigger, and the trigger is resource guarding by putting food. What I did, I put a small amount of ham in a plastic bag and tried to take it from him, and this triggered the frenzied aggressive attack. During this stage, his eyes immediately glazed over and looked green. He became rigid, but it's also one of the traits that with over-aggression where you see the dog become extremely stiff, and you get that guttural growl that comes deep from their gut like this, and then they just launch from there. And it's a trait that I've seen in absolutely every dog I've seen with the over-aggression trait. And as we do the evaluation, basically it's just a test to see what triggers the aggression. So pressure that we put on him, there's no trigger. Possession, there's a trigger. And if you didn't do this test, you'd never know, and you'd probably put that dog into a family home. Now I'll go and feed the dog, and because there's no possession in this, that I'm offering the dog some food, he goes back to normal, he's happy, relaxed, and I can take him for a walk, I can feed him, and he's quite relaxed. But now when I place the bag in front of him with the ham, and then go to do the possession over the top of him again, then it changes again. He's launching and biting into different things, but it's hard to see this in the video. But seeing the dog in right in front of him, the pupils are absolutely expanded and dilated. They've got a green tinge to them, generally black pupil with a green background or a blue sky, and that's why you get that reflection, but very, very expanded. After getting him to relax, it generally took him about 10 seconds to calm down. Here we go with possession again, and I'm just using a concealed arm to see if the dog will actually bite me, and yeah, he latches onto it. Pretty hectic in aggression. It's a big change, especially for a 12-month-old puppy that's so friendly and happy towards everyone. I'll just run away and just watch that comes in. Just keep it, don't let it go up. And this is not a environmental condition. This is a genetic condition. It's an overaggression trait, whether you call it idiopathic rage or anything else. It's a genetic fault with the dog, and it's brought out by an environmental factor, which can be stress, it can be possession, and it can be pain.
Oh yeah, and he's got, the last 2 months he's just got big.
With several theories on the cause of rage syndrome, I'd like to add one more based on my observations and research. I believe the cause of this condition is an enlarged overactive adrenal gland that produces a massive dose of adrenaline into the bloodstream. The adrenal gland in the rage syndrome dogs produce far too much adrenaline with much less stimuli than normal dogs. This will explain the Shar-Pei and the large amount of adrenaline he had to produce to override the massive amount of tranquilizers in his system. An autopsy and blood test on rage syndrome dogs will confirm this theory. If you have any experience with rage syndrome dogs and can add to the research, I welcome you to make comments below, and together we may be able to solve this mystery. I'm Gary Jackson. Bye for now.